Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. I'm Tyler, and I'm normally a music and movie guy, but this year I am trying to read as much as I possibly can. That's the goal for the year, is books. I've never been much of a reader, uh, but this year I decided to dive into the deep end, man. I'm gonna try to read 100 books in a year, and I thought I'd give you guys monthly updates and review the books that I read. So, without further ado, this is January. First book I read this year, Catch 22. I had read it before in college. When I was in college, I didn't really have, I was a different person, didn't really have the stomach for this type of book, and I saw it out. I was actually in the market for graphic novels, and we saw it out, and I was like, you know what? I'd like to read that again, just to see just to see if I would like it more, being who I am now and being a lot more mature, and might be something to dip my toe in the water in reading books. And this is instantly, it's now absolutely one of my favorite novels. Even with all the things that I've read so far this year. I'm recording this. We're almost at the end of February, but this book is hilarious. It's satire, and I love satire humor. Big Coen Brothers movie fan. Big satire fan. This is really great novel. Set in the war. It's about a bombardier, and I love this book. I absolutely love this book, and when I read this book, it's what got me like, you know what, I'm going to read. I've never dove into the realm of literature before, so I'm going to dive in. As much as I swim around in music and as much as I swim around in film, I was like, you know what? I'm going to dive into literature, and this is what inspired me to do so. This book is great. Couldn't recommend it more, especially if you're a fan of satire or war novels. Next up, read Animal Farm in 1984. I'm just going to talk about these two at the same time since they were both in the same book for me, and read them both one after the other. Animal Farm is first in this one, even though the cover would lead you to believe otherwise. Read Animal Farm. Animal Farm is an allegory on the rise and fall of socialism, particularly Joseph Stalin and Lenin, and it's Orwell's take on what happened and how socialism was corrupted. 1984 is a longer book. 1984 is a dystopian future where socialist totalitarianism has taken over. And 1984 scared the crap out of me. It just goes to show that any government system can be corrupted, no matter how pure the intentions are. A lot of socialists have very pure intentions in what they want to do, but even socialism as a pure concept can be corrupted. So any government system can be corrupted. So no matter what government system there is in place, it's honestly, it depends on who the leaders are and how corrupt they are. All systems can be flawed. It scared the crap out of me. It's a very jarring book. It's intense. It's great. Orwell is great. Orwell is absolutely now one of my favorite authors. So 1984 and Animal Farm, if you find this copy, pick it up. Read them both. Educate yourself. The next novel I read was C.S. Lewis, The Great Divorce. It's a very short book. It's not very long. C.S. Lewis was an atheist. He converted to Christianity, and he has universalist and open theist views. So I thought that it would be really interesting to read his thoughts. This is fiction, and the premise is it's a bus ride from hell to heaven. These are all going to be spoiler-free reviews, so I'm just going to, leave out the details. But this book is, for as small as this book is, the theologically complex philosophy that he jams in this, like, it's amazing. All of the different philosophical points that he tries to make in this, and it's really, really interesting read. It's very short, and if you're interested in one man's opinion on heaven and hell, give it a read. It's not gospel. Believe what you want to believe. I mean, obviously, I take my own opinions about everything. No matter what I read, I formulate my own opinions, which is what everybody should do. Formulate your own opinions. Come to your own conclusions, But, yeah, food for thought. This is a good little read. And I have been a fan of Lord of the Rings movies since I was young. They came out when I was about 11 years old, and I've adored them ever since. The first Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movie came out when I was 11, I believe. I had Lord of the Rings trading cards. I loved those movies. Ever since I've watched them a million times, and I thought it was about high time that I read the actual novels, Tolkien, and oh my goodness. Obviously, the first one was The Fellowship of the Ring. This is so great. It is so wonderful to read a master of British literature at work. He built this universe, spent years and years building this universe, and then after he designed the universe and the languages and all the details, then he decided to write novels in it. And wow, I did not start with The Hobbit. I started with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but Fellowship of the Ring is great. The differences, if you've seen the movie, you obviously don't know who Tom Bombadil is. That's in the book. You only see Farmer Maggot's rake in the movie. There's a whole lot more to do with Farmer Maggot in here. It's a wonderful ride in fantasy. Like, this book is great. It's Lord of the Rings books are now my number one, but I put them in one slot. Number one, Lord of the Rings. All three novels, I count them as one. They are my favorites. So obviously next was The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, book 2, or part 2, because it's Fellowship of the Ring is book 1 and 2, Two Towers is book 3 and 4. This was really great. There's a lot of differences. The way that Peter Jackson put his film together is completely different than the way that Tolkien put the story together in this book. If you're a fan of the movies, you've seen them a lot, and you read this book, you're going to realize, whoa, why is this happening now? Why I thought it happened at the end of the movie. It's really different, but it's great. Really, really adore these books, man. So that's what I read in January. I got 6 books read in January. And they were big books, they weren't small. But on our way to 100. I'm going to have another video up as soon as February ends. I'm going to go to the February haul, and I've read more books in February. So, hey, this is either, I'm doing these videos, I'm going to put them on my channel, and if 1 or 2 people watches them, that's cool. If not, they're just going to be here for a documentation of my journey in reading in 2021. So, yeah, like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. It's pretty much going to be all books this year, guys. I know I've done, like me and my wife have done video game reviews. We've done the Studio Ghibli movies. We've done a little bit on here, but this year is all about reading and literature, and so that's what this is going to be for this year. So yeah, January, it's a wrap. Come back at the end of February. There'll be another one of these.